In the last few years, we've gone from casually hopping on flights with free snacks and decent legroom to suddenly being charged for everything, including picking your seat, checking a bag, and even asking for a blanket. And now, airlines are stepping it up with even more changes that are kind of wild. Now we have a few tech upgrades at check-in, updated dress codes that are actually affecting what some passengers are allowed to wear. And don't even get me started on the stricter baggage rules. One wrong move and you're paying more than the ticket just to bring your carry-on. So in today's video, we're breaking down the major changes happening across airlines right now. What's getting better, what's going to cost you more, and exactly how to avoid getting caught off guard at the airport. Let's jump right in. First thing you need to take note of is that flights are packed in 2025. That means you're not just competing for that precious power outlet anymore. You're fighting for everything from overhead bin space to bathroom access. The reason for this is airlines are running fewer routes and flying fewer planes than they did in previous years. Meanwhile, passenger demand is through the roof. Everyone's flying again, vacations, business trips, family visits. So yeah, expect full cabins from takeoff to touchdown. Now, if your ticket still includes a carry-on bag, which is becoming a luxury on its own, you might think you're all set with that overhead bin space right above your seat. Hate to break it to you though, overhead bin space is not assigned. Just because you have seat 21A doesn't mean the bin above 21A is yours. Also, if you board late and see the bins around your row already closed, it means that they're probably full. In that case, your best move is to look for space ahead of your seat, not behind. Because if you stash your bag in a bin that's behind you, you're gonna be waiting for literally every single person behind you to get off the plane before you can go back and grab it. And trust me, that's awkward. Oh, and here's something not everyone tells you. Once you deplane, most airlines will not let you back on to grab stuff you forgot. So if your carry-on's back there with your laptop, meds, or anything important, you better grab it before stepping off. Now, full flights don't just mean less legroom, they also mean you're fighting with dozens, sometimes hundreds of other passengers just to use the bathroom. And trust me, the timing of when you go makes a huge difference. There are 3 peak times when everyone suddenly decides they need the bathroom: right after takeoff, once the seatbelt sign turns off; right after meal service, when people are done eating and their stomachs start doing whatever airplane food makes them do; about an hour and a half before landing, when the cabin lights come back on and everyone who is sleeping wakes up and rushes to the back of the plane at the exact same time. If you're on a long-haul flight, this last one is brutal. The lights flip on, people stretch, and suddenly it's a full-on bathroom stampede. Here's a simple travel hack. Set an alarm on your phone or smartwatch to go off about 2 hours before landing. That gives you just enough time to sneak into the bathroom before the rush hits. Not only will you avoid the crazy line, but the bathroom will actually be cleaner too, because you're going before the crowd. So, yeah, a little planning can seriously save you from that mid-air bathroom chaos. Next, let's talk about some exciting tech upgrades. Tech updates. You now get free messaging on most flights today, even if you don't pay for Wi-Fi during the flight. A lot of major airlines now let you message your friends and family using apps like WhatsApp, iMessage, and Facebook Messenger completely free. But don't get too excited just yet. This is only for plain text messages. You still can't send photos or videos. And SMS texting? Also not happening. So before you even get to the airport, make sure you've downloaded the messaging apps you want to use. Because trying to install one mid-air is also a no. Now, if you're flying JetBlue, you're golden. They're out here giving passengers free high-speed Wi-Fi for everything, not just messaging. You can scroll, stream, and stalk your ex's Instagram in peace, whether you're in economy or first class. That's the kind of energy we need in 2025. Other airlines are starting to feel the pressure. United Airlines now gives everyone free messaging, but if you want full internet access, you'll have to pay, unless you're a T-Mobile customer, in which case, congrats, you just leveled up with free Wi-Fi included. And let's talk about the quality of airplane Wi-Fi, because we all know it used to be trash, like completely unusable. But now, things are actually improving. Airlines like Alaska, United, and Air Canada are teaming up with Starlink, aka the satellite internet company from Elon Musk, to bring real high-speed internet to their planes. It's still rolling out, but it's a massive step up from the buffering disaster we've dealt with for years. Another interesting change is wireless headphone support. Yes, finally! Newer planes are now letting you connect your AirPods or Bluetooth headphones directly to the seatback entertainment system. No more digging around for those weird airline headphones that barely work or panicking because you forgot your adapter for wired ones. Also, fun fact, a lot of airlines don't even offer free headphones anymore, so this Bluetooth feature is a total game changer. If you're enjoying this video, click the like and subscribe button. Also, turn on post notification so you can be notified when we post new and exciting contents like this one. All right, let's talk about in-flight entertainment, because airlines are finally stepping it up, and not just with more movies. We've officially moved beyond the days where your only options were a few outdated rom-coms and an episode of Friends you've already seen 20 times. Now, a lot of airlines are loading their entertainment systems with meditation apps, interactive games, language lessons, music playlists, and even guided breathing exercises. Like, imagine vibing with a meditation app while cruising over the Atlantic. And here's a feature that's actually kind of genius. You can now use the seatback screen to let flight attendants know whether you want to be woken up for meals or left alone to sleep. No more awkward, sorry to wake you moments while you're knocked out with your mouth open and a neck pillow halfway off your head. Just tap a button and make your preferences clear. Honestly, it's about time. Now, let's get into some not-so-great tech updates. Because while planes are finally getting upgrades in some areas, when it comes to power outlets, we're still stuck in like 2012. Here's the deal. On most flights, you'll only find 2 power outlets per row of 3 seats, which basically means someone's going to be out of luck, especially on a full flight. And even if you do manage to claim one, there's no guarantee it'll actually work. It's honestly a gamble. Now, yes, most North American airlines have a USB charging port at every seat, but don't celebrate just yet. A lot of those ports are still USB-A only, which is bad news if you've upgraded to a newer smartphone, tablet, or laptop that uses USB-C. Apple users? Samsung users? Yeah, I'm looking at you. If you're flying without a USB-A to USB-C adapter, you're better off just turning off your phone to save battery. So here's your travel pro tip. Pick up a cheap USB-A to USB-C adapter before you hop on your next flight. Also, check the aircraft model before your flight. It sounds extra, but it's worth it. You can usually find the plane type on your ticket or flight details. Once you've got it, do a quick Google search or visit the airline's website. Some even have a section in their app called something like in-flight amenities or aircraft details, where they'll list what outlets and tech are available on board. A 1-minute search could save you hours of frustration at 30,000 feet. All right, let's talk about something that might hit a little too close to home. Airplane comfort is getting worse, like noticeably worse. If you've flown recently and felt like your knees were in your chest the entire time, you're not imagining things. Airlines like Frontier have completely switched to fixed back seats in economy, which means No recline at all, not even an inch. Other carriers, including Delta, American, and United, are starting to follow suit with limited recline designs. We're talking a shift from 4 inches of recline, back in the good old days, to just 2 inches now, barely enough to lean back and take a breath. But it's not just about recline. The average seat pitch, which is the distance between your seat and the one in front of you, has shrunk too. What used to be around 34 inches is now closer to 30 inches on many flights. And on budget airlines, it can get as tight as 28 inches. That's brutal, especially if you're tall or flying long haul. Now, let's talk about the seats themselves. Some airlines, like Delta, are swapping in what they call slimline seats. Sounds sleek, right? Yeah, until you realize it's just code for thinner seats with less padding, all so they can cram in a few extra rows and shave off a few pounds for fuel efficiency. Great for the airline's bottom line, not so much for your spine. Here's a tip to save yourself a little discomfort. If you're booking through Google Flights, they actually show the average legroom for most flights. It's under the seat info section, and it'll give you a heads up on whether you're getting a decent amount of space or if you're about to suffer in a seat made for hobbits. So yeah, between the stiff seats, shrinking legroom, and barely there padding, comfort is definitely taking a hit. Maybe bring that neck pillow and a prayer. As if that isn't already uncomfortable enough. Now you don't even get to pick your own seat on most airlines unless you're willing to cough up extra cash. Back in the day, we're talking just a few years ago, most airlines would let you choose your seat for free during the online check-in period, which usually opened 24 hours before departure. And if you were in the know, you probably had that little travel hack where you'd set an alarm for exactly 24 hours before your flight just to jump on the best available seat, like an aisle or a window, without paying a dime. Yeah, that golden era, it's basically over. Airlines like Air Canada and United now auto-assign seats if you're flying basic economy, which is code for, you paid the lowest fare, so good luck. And if you want to switch that middle seat in the last row for something more human-friendly, even during check-in, guess what? You'll have to pay for it. There's even this theory floating around that some airlines are intentionally assigning the worst seats, like the dreaded middle seat right next to the bathroom, to passengers who check in early, just to nudge them into paying for a better one. It's all part of a game people are calling check-in chicken. Basically, you wait until the very last minute to check in, hoping that all the truly terrible seats are already taken, and maybe you'll luck into a decent aisle or window seat that's still unclaimed. Does it always work? Nope. But if you're on a tight budget and refuse to pay for seat selection, it might be worth a shot. Now here's a little good news, and especially for families. If you're traveling with kids under 13, US airlines are actually required by law to seat you together without charging extra. So even if you booked basic economy, you won't be separated from your little ones. Airlines can't just toss your 7-year-old in 26B while you're stuck way up in row 12. Still, if you're flying solo or with other adults, the seat selection game just got a lot more expensive and a lot more annoying. Finally, let's talk about the new dress code. Let's start with the basics. Major airlines like American and United have made it crystal clear that showing up to your flight without shoes is now against the rules. Their policies now explicitly ban bare feet, and they have the power to deny boarding or even remove you from the flight if you don't follow through. But if you thought it stopped at bare feet, Spirit Airlines took things to another level. The ultra-low-cost US airline has dropped a whole new strict dress code policy that officially went into effect on January 22nd. And they're not playing around. According to the updated rules, Passengers can now be denied boarding or kicked off a flight entirely if their clothing is considered unsuitable. And for the first time ever on a mainstream U.S. airline, even offensive tattoos can get you grounded. The policy specifically calls out passengers who are inadequately clothed. That means see-through clothes that expose private parts like breasts, buttocks, and everything else that should be covered on a plane. It's no longer just about staying comfortable. Now you have to meet a minimum decency requirement, or you're not flying. Spirit's not alone on this either. Most airlines already had quiet rules about attire, but now they're actually enforcing them with real consequences. In October of 2024, 2 women were removed from a Spirit flight simply for wearing crop tops. Then, in early January of 2025, John Garcia Jr., a 43-year-old man from Texas, was kicked off his Spirit Airlines flight from Los Angeles to San Antonio after a flight attendant decided his hoodie was offensive. Garcia reportedly refused at first, saying the hoodie didn't violate any rules. But after some back and forth and the situation heating up, a male flight attendant gave him a choice: either remove the hoodie or get off the plane. He ended up taking off the hoodie, but was still removed from the flight anyway. So, yeah, clearly they are not messing around. Whether it's a crop top, a hoodie, or a tattoo, airlines are starting to draw the line. If your outfit might spark controversy or show a little too much skin, you could be facing more than just side-eye from your seatmate. You could end up grounded entirely. So, moral of the story? Dress like your grandma's coming to pick you up at the airport. So, what do you think about this? Did we miss anything important? Let us know down in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.